Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Show Me Show podcast for episode 95, nearing 100. And today we've got a similar kind of setup as last week. Um, got a little bit of sports to catch up on. Two game sevens concluded last night in the NBA, as well as the Mavs advanced to the Western Conference Finals, and the Celtics did as well earlier last week, about the time when we recorded, actually. Another Monday show, and then we've got some segments towards the end as well, or we might actually even split them up and put them towards the middle. And pretty light show, but we've got some interesting talking points to get to, and some interesting discussion to dive into. So let's go ahead and just get right to it. I think we should just go ahead and start with the two games last night. Start with Nuggets and
Game sevens.
T-Wolves as most recent, technically. They were up. The Nuggets were up 58-38 at halftime, which I actually felt like I was watching college basketball kind of a little bit after that first half. And they came back. They came roaring back, and I think they won 98-90. So they really climbed out. It was the biggest Game 7 comeback, I think, in NBA history. So pretty crazy. But not just that, I couldn't believe how, it went from the Nuggets were, not that they were shooting lights out, but they went from shooting well to one of the worst shooting performances we've seen in the playoffs, and that's why they lost. So
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I watched the Knicks Pacers one earlier in the day, and I turned that off at halftime because it was a blowout. I did the same thing here. It was just like blowout basketball doesn't excite me like game sevens do. And I think I checked the score a little bit into the third quarter, like maybe 2 minutes in, and yeah, they were down 20, and I'm like, well, that's over. That's sad. And then I checked the score a little bit later just to see, if they're making it a game or something, and they had the lead, and I dropped my jaw, and I was like, I guess we're turning it back on. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. I wish I could have watched the comeback. I just did not expect that at all to happen. But yeah, good for the Wolves. This is the farthest they've ever been. They've only been to the Western Conference Finals one time, so they've tied that for the longest they've ever been in their franchise history. And they have a good team this year. They got two really good bigs. They obviously have a superstar in Anthony Edwards, and then they have great guard play from Alexander Walker and Mike Conley. So great defense. I mean, they're a well organized team. It's going to be fun to see him play against Luka and Kyrie and the Mavs. See if they can do anything. But it is interesting because the Timberwolves last year were the 8 seed, and the Mavs last year missed the playoffs. Didn't even make the play-in. So it really is, feast and famine in the Western Conference. And then you just have the Celtics on the other hand, just waiting for the winner.
yeah, and you mentioned that these teams, T-Wolves were knocked out first round. The Mavericks actually had a funny tank situation last year that knocked themselves out, and they're both here. Yeah,
it was like the Eagles from a couple years ago when they just took out Jalen Hurts and put in Nate Sudfeld. And all the Giants fans, the Giants were 6-10, by the way, and they were getting mad because we could have won the division if you just kept them in or something like that. Which was funny because they were 6-10. They were a terrible football team, but they could have won that division. That's how bad it was. Crazy.
Yeah, and but I think another just cool point about all of this is not only this is the 6th year we're not going to get a repeat winner, because this was the 6th year in a row that the champion was knocked out in the semifinal round, which I thought was kind of an interesting stat. And then, but not only that, we're going to get a winner that we haven't seen in a long time. We're either going to get the Celtics, Pacers, Mavs, or T-Wolves. And obviously the Mavs won one when we were growing up with Dirk.
So the
Celtics won one when we were growing up. But Pacers, not quite. They had some 2000. I think it was 2014. Paul George's run. Obviously ran into LeBron, but um,
Reggie Miller made it to the finals one time.
yeah, and that's about it. And then the T Wolves, like Luke said, they've only been there one time, and that was a little before we could sit down and comprehend a basketball game. So here we are. But I don't know. It's just cool that you're going to get some new blood, and a superstar is going to get a ring. And I think you could. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think you can pretty much automatically eliminate the Pacers here. So I think we're looking at either Luca, um, Ant, or Jason Tatum. One of them is going to get a ring this year. So
Yeah,
finally can not put that on the resume.
that's pretty cool. And I know you mentioned the stat, like for the last 6 years, the reigning champion has been knocked out before the conference finals, which is weird because I feel like growing up, it was always the NBA had the least amount of parity out of all the leagues. And now you're sitting here and, you have a back to back champion in the NHL a couple years ago. You just had a back to back champion in the NFL. The MLB still kind of has that parity going. But I mean, the other leagues are getting those dynasties going, and the NBA is still, changing every year, which I think is cool. I really thought the Nuggets were going to do it again this year. They just were that dominant, but they didn't. So shout out to T Wolves. They finished one game behind them in the standings, and just kind of crazy. Parodying the NBA is heating up. Probably good for the league too.
Yeah, and I think just last week we talked about how super teams are kind of, I don't know, maybe not DEAD dead, but they're definitely on the decline, and this new way to approach building a roster is really taking form in the league, and it's had this. This is actually just kind of how it used to be, so it's almost like it's coming back full circle. The league is, which yeah, I think we both agree is pretty sick. Because look what it's given us, guys like Ant and Luca and whatnot. So, um, but yeah, Pacers obviously they took care of business at the Garden, and maybe the big news coming out of here was you know uh, the Knicks lived and died by their injuries, and they had another guy leave. Their most important guy, actually, Jalen Brunson, broke his hand in that game, which is pretty crazy. So not only would he have been done for the rest of the year anyway, but they inevitably got knocked out. So Pacers. I mean, how many games do they even win against the Celtics?
I think I tweeted out my predictions earlier. I've done that before every single series. I've been doing actually pretty good. First round I did better in the NHL. This round I definitely did way better in the NBA. And I think I had the Celtics winning in 6, although I could see it happening in 5. I just feel like the Pacers, with their scoring volume, like what they did against the Knicks in Game 7, they've done that multiple times throughout the regular season. Like that was not a fluke performance. Like they do that on more than an occasion. I feel like they can do that a couple times. They've been pretty good at home too throughout throughout these playoffs. I could be wrong here, but I believe are they 6-0 at home?
Yeah, they didn't lose against the Bucks at home either.
Okay, and they won all 3 games against the Knicks too. So, um, they're rocking in Indianapolis. So I think that they could pull out a couple games here. It might just be a little much for them to outmatch the Celtics overall. And then I had the Mavs winning in 7, which I don't love, but I feel like everyone's kind of hopping on the Timberwolves right now, which they are a good team. But I mean, the Mavs they're kind of flying under the radar a little bit, and that plays in this situation. So,
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am very excited for the Western Conference Finals.
oh yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna watch every Eastern Conference Finals game if I have the ability to, but I'm really excited for the Western Conference Finals. I mean, just the way that the Mavericks were able to finish that series off against the Thunder, that really it really impressed me. So,
oh yeah, it was really cool.
and
Um, just
I'll
back and
be
forth at the end of the game there too, with the superstars making shots.
yeah, absolutely. It was. I mean, it was just a chaotic finish in Dallas for that game. A good, nice little spur of the moment comeback there for the Mavericks. I mean, they were down. And it looked like we were heading for Game 7 in OKC, and they pulled it out. And I mean that place, it just looked. I don't know. The atmosphere looked awesome in Dallas. So I'm sure it'll be good in Minnesota too. Those fans haven't really had a whole lot to cheer about in any of their sports for a while now. So that will be pretty cool for them too. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm
for
just
sure.
excited for that series.
I am too. It's a fun matchup. So good
Yeah,
jerseys too.
great jerseys and just great upcoming superstars too. I mean, well, there already are, and at least Luka is. Luka's already there, and this has kind of been his emergence, even though he was dominant last year too, but not in the playoffs like this. So I don't know. It's just like here we go, and there was some crazy. There was an inch some. Gobert had a master class of a game last night against the Nuggets. Was not expecting that. Um,
Yeah, I mean he in that fourth quarter he was just going to town.
he was the best
Defensively,
player on the floor in the fourth
yeah.
quarter.
I mean, he was getting every single rebound. He was playing like a true big man. Like I feel like Gobert plays soft, and he gets made fun for it. He gets made fun of all the time for playing soft in the playoffs, like when he was with the Jazz and stuff. That was a big boy performance though last night. I mean, he was fighting for boards. He was making shots, making his free throws down the stretch. Um, oh, this is not good. Did you get any of that, Cam?
I didn't get anything of what you said except the word free throw.
Okay, well, hopefully I caught that and recorded it. My Wi-Fi is kind of bugging right now, so we'll see what happens the rest of the show. But yeah, I mean he just did everything that you were supposed to as a good basketball player, and I mean it turned out to to help them hold on to that win.
Yeah, for sure. Um, it was you almost come around for guys like that, because Gobert obviously had the COVID thing, kind of shut down the league, and then the soft playoff stuff, and he says dumb shit here and there, and but I don't know, I mean they always say even a blind nut finds a or even a blind nut finds a squirrel. Yeah, even a
Well,
blind nut
maybe.
finds a squirrel every once in a while. So Rudy Gobert. That it was nice to see him kind of pop off for a second there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he's that player that like talks, but he doesn't always back it up. So,
exactly. Yeah,
um, but I feel like he's become more likable since he's went to Minnesota, which is good. I feel like everyone becomes more likable when you go to Minnesota.
yeah. I feel like once you leave the state of Utah, and Sonny Gray just gave up a 3-run shot, but
Oh, damn. Gunnar Henderson, 16 home runs. Crazy. That was the first hit of the game, too. That was a no
it's a
hitter.
big one. It's a loud one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, one more Pacer note. They've pretty much won every single game that Tyrese Halliburton has like a high shot volume. By that I mean he's just like actually taking shots. So they just need to keep that formula, and maybe they will have a chance against the Celtics. I don't know, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Um,
And then yeah, we got some hometown news. Mizzou advances to the Super Regional in softball. They almost got bounced by Omaha, kind of a Norfolk State situation, if you will. But they bounced back. They won 2 in a row. They won 4 games in 2 days at home. The Super Region or the regional was in Columbia, which is kind of cool. And they advanced to the Super Regional in softball. They'll play Duke,
which is
which
also in Columbia.
yes, but if they come out of the Super Regional, they'll go to the Softball World Series. And look, there's 8 teams that make the Softball World Series.
Yep.
8? I feel like that's stretching it a little bit. Is that really a World Series if you have 8 teams? I don't.
Well, clearly you are not a college baseball watcher because it's the same thing for them. Um,
I'm fine with carrying this conversation over to college baseball. I think it has to be Final Four at least, and maybe that's just college basketball
yeah,
creeping into my mind. But 8 teams, eight 8 teams get a college World Series appearance every year. That does not seem
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
watered down.
you can't really do like the College World Series and then have it be two teams because like that's the MLB's thing. Their championship is called the World Series, so you can't really have it be for the same thing in college. Kind of, yeah. I guess they're kind of
Mm,
using. They're still using the name, but they're switching up the format. I'll be honest. When I first learned about it a few years ago, when I started mildly following college baseball, I thought it was really weird. I was like, 18, like that's not a World Series. That's just a tournament, which is what it
that's just the
is.
Elite Eight.
Yeah, they divide it into groups of four, and then you play like a round robin, and whoever comes out of that group of four plays in the title game. Um, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't love it, but
I don't love 8 teams in the college softball World Series. I don't know. It actually even sits a little different that it's 8 for softball. I don't know why. I
I don't
can't.
know.
And
It's the same
maybe
format
that's
as a
on me.
regional, though.
Maybe
So
that's on me. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense, but
Yeah.
oh, and other softball
Also,
news:
yeah. Go
Arizona
ahead.
also beat Arkansas. So once again, Arizona is helping out Mizzou by taking out the pigs. I feel like we've just been, other than the Desiree thing, I feel like we've been kind of,
There's kind of synced up. Both got
yeah,
their shit beat out of them by Princeton a couple of years ago.
yeah.
Um,
We
yeah, I
beat
don't know.
Oklahoma last year in the Alamo Bowl, so that was good for Mizzou fans. Um,
Yeah, it's true.
but yeah,
They're like symbiotic, a symbiotic relationship.
yeah.
There you go.
And then did you? I know we talked about the softball. Did you watch any of the games?
Just the ending of yesterday's, pretty
Okay.
much.
I watched the first Omaha game, and then I watched the last one. I mean that's a good team right there. I don't think that's a Norfolk State situation like you said earlier because they weren't that good of a team. Mizzou just had a really bad game against Norfolk State, and Norfolk State played well enough to win. Where I think this Omaha team was actually really good because they beat Washington in the game after. Um, I mean, and they went toe to toe with us in all three of the games. So
Yeah.
shout out,
No,
I
that's
guess.
true. I guess, but it
Underseeded.
always that's just what always comes to mind is Norfolk State when you get upset as a Mizzou fan, unfortunately. So shout
Yeah,
out that guy named O'Quinn who just absolutely torched us that day. But not actually shout out.
yeah. I was say
That
don't
really
don't
hurt.
shut him out.
That really hurt back then. So
I wonder what he's doing now.
I looked it up a couple of years ago. I think he was playing overseas, but I have no idea anymore. I kind of want to. Now I
Yeah,
kind of
it'd
want to just look.
be funny if he was like
Man,
working as like a banker or something.
no, fuck.
Be a fun exercise. Like, what are former college basketball players doing now?
Okay,
Um,
Kyle O'Quinn. Let's see here. Let's go to Wikipedia. He's playing in the CBA right now. So there you go. He plays for
CBA.
the Chinese Basketball Association Sichuan Blue Whales.
Okay. So he's the definition of that get ready to learn Chinese, buddy meme.
Yes, he did actually play in the NBA for much longer than one would have thought. 2012 to 2020.
Oh wow. How many games? He couldn't have been like consistently playing.
Yeah, I know. I need to go. If I want to do that, I'll have to go to his. Hold on. Let me go to his basketball reference. Kyle
I'm burning
O.
up in my room here.
Quinn NBA reference.
Turning on a fan. This is great podcasting.
Okay, actually played in 472 games.
Oh wow.
Averaged 5.4 points per game. That is
Good for him.
actually much better than I would have expected. I'm not going to lie. But there you go.
Yeah. Shout out. Maybe we'll have to do that like once a week, just like pick a random college basketball player and just see what he's doing now. Could be a new segment.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I do like that. Was interesting.
You like get
All
some
right.
really weird players too that like people would
Oh, we
know,
could go
but
deep. Yeah. Yeah, we could
um
go deep.
all right. Sorry if my fan is making a lot of noise and picking up on the microphone, but I was
I think
dying
you're
in here.
good.
I had to get
I
that
think you're
on.
good. I can't hear it, so I think you're good. Um,
All right, what else happened? Oh, another local thing, kind of. Battlehawks make the playoffs.
yeah,
So
they finally clinched their first playoff appearance. Still quite a few games to go. I guess it's already locked in that they're playing the Brahmas because they already clinched their spot too. And I guess the other team's records are so bad that it doesn't even matter that those two teams are locked in. I'm sure the seeding is all that matters now. So,
yeah. Well, funny
still
enough,
some games
actually,
to play.
all four of the teams are locked in. Like on the other side, um, on the USFL, what do you call it? Conference, I guess. The Panthers and the Stallions are both locked into their spot. So with 2 weeks to go in the regular season, like all the playoff teams are locked in. Um, it's kind of funny. Like the bad teams are just really bad this year.
Yeah, that's not good for their ratings at all,
No,
actually.
no, it's not good at all. But I think St. Louis and San Antonio have a final regular season game coming up here, which could determine home field in the first round. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be fun. It's nice to get in though. Last year, I feel like we definitely should have had it. Like I felt like we had the playoffs, and then all of a sudden it just got ripped from us by Seattle at the last second. But thank God they're not in the league this year. So, yeah, yeah, definitely
Seattle
cool to
drag.
finally have that breathing room.
Yeah.
One game away from the title game in St. Louis. So
Yeah, and shout out Manny Wilkins. He got the spot start for us this weekend because AJ McCarron couldn't go, and he was able to, it wasn't pretty, but he was able to will us to victory. So I'm not saying we won because of him, but he did what he could. So thank you, Manny Wilkins. So yeah, never
yep.
thought I'd say that, but here we are. All right, so we've got a couple rundown items as well. um, we'll just start with this. Cardinals, I thought the City Connects weren't that great. Loop says that that's fake. Here, can I just give you my reasoning for why I thought they weren't that good?
Of course.
Okay, so first off, we didn't wear our preseason reds this year, which was already kind of like a red flag that they might be doing something with the City Connects. But you could also say that about two other jerseys that we haven't been wearing this year. Personally, I'm a huge cream or cream jersey fan. Hashtag anything cream. Um, but so and then we also weren't wearing our baby blues, which is annoying as hell, by the way, that we don't
That's
even
that's
wear
not the
those.
fault of Fanatics, by the way, because they just haven't got them. Like this Saturday against the Red Sox was the first time we got to wear the cream jerseys because we didn't have them. They just didn't ship them in time for the season. They didn't.
I
The order
I
hadn't come in.
can't believe I just don't. That doesn't compute in my mind because like I said, we could order a full set of jerseys off DH gate and they would have gotten here in
Exactly.
time for MLB games. So, but so the City Connects were they kind of look like our spring training reds. They are a little bit cooler, but I'll be honest, I was just looking for anything cream and or eggshell and or baby blue. So I guess that's why
Well,
I was out on them.
I think the baby blue would have been cool had we not already had a baby blue jersey. Like if we didn't
Yeah,
come
but
out
we
with that
don't
one,
actually have it. It's almost like we don't
we
even
do.
have it anymore.
It's in our
We have it,
rotation.
but have we worn it? No.
No, but it's a jersey that we have. We just
It's in the MLB the Show game for you to choose
yes,
if
it's
you
in
want to
the
try to
team
go and choose your
rotation. It's
jersey.
just unfortunate that Fanatics has their head up their ass their entire season and they don't know how to do anything right. So, and that's why they don't. There's not just the Cardinals either. There's a ton of teams that like aren't getting their alternate jerseys in because of
Yeah.
Fanatics. I don't understand how they still are able to run the MLB jerseys. Like it's just baffling to me.
And you know what? Maybe they're just so locked up with their feud with Marvin Harrison Jr. Have you seen that? What's been going on with that? They
No.
can't reach a deal with him. Like he won't let them sell his jersey in their stores. And
Good.
now they're taking it to court because they're like, we have never had this problem before. Basically, they're taking it to court on the fact that we've never had this problem before, and he won't let us sell his jerseys. And
You know
he's
what?
like, okay, let's go.
I might buy a Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey off DHgate just because of that now. I'm a fan. Just because he's
I think
beefing
it's
with
kind of
Fanatics. That's
funny.
funny, if
I
nothing
don't
else.
even know like what he's like. He's just trying to get more money out of him, but like it's kind of crazy the game he's playing. Like they're right that nobody's ever done this before. The only person that doesn't really sign with like the NFLPA in terms of stuff like that is Coach Bill Belichick. So it's just I don't even. I wonder if he like ended up signing the thing with like EA, so for him to be in the game and stuff, or like Panini or whatever, they have like all that's like licensed together for them to have like cards and stuff like that. So interesting. I don't know. Maybe Fanatics is just I don't know. They're in a dark place right now. They have never
They
been
should
there.
be. It's just like Boeing. Like the once great thing is now falling apart because of shitty quality, basically, and the consumers. Which the thing with like Boeing and Fanatics is that it's not really a business to consumer thing. It's like a business to consumer thing. Like Boeing sells it to airlines, who then sells that to consumers. So consumers don't really get to choose the plane. It's the same thing here. Like Fanatics sells their product to teams and organizations, and then they sell it to consumers. So the consumers don't really have a choice here. But um, I think that it's showing, and these two companies are both, I don't know. It's they're on the way down. Wish that was happening with Spectrum too, but it will one day, and I will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there. Spectrum's downfall. Okay. Yeah, I think, like I said, anything cream for jerseys rocks. Some of the other teams dropped some of their City Connects, like the Angels. It
Though I
was
love
pretty sick.
theirs.
It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But it kind of just applies to pretty much any sport. Like the Bucks. I don't know why, but they have a cream jersey and it's kind of sick.
is that the one that says Cream City?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know like what the hell does that even mean, but I don't know if they're like trying to reference
Milk, maybe
yeah,
ice
I
cream,
don't know.
cheese.
Cream City, I
Um,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds like an animated city almost. But I agree with your take. I think the cream jerseys would have been cool, but we already have one, and like the teams that are getting these City Connect jerseys, it's a different color jersey than what they already have. Like even the Pirates, like they got a yellow jersey, didn't have a yellow jersey before. So the Cardinals, like that's like the one color that we don't have is red, which it's actually surprising. Never
Except we did
once
have it. We did have it though.
for the spring training. And this is the thing. Whenever we wear these jerseys on Friday against the Cubs, I believe it's Friday, could be Saturday. This weekend, when we wear these jerseys against the Cubs, it'll be the first time in our franchise history that we wear a red jersey during the regular season.
That's a pretty cool stat.
And
I'll
we're
say
the
that's a pretty
Cardinals.
cool stat.
Our mascot is the Cardinals, who it's a
Who's
red
red?
bird. And never worn a red jersey. That's just kind of crazy to me.
It's pretty
But
bonkers.
I have been saying that for years. For years, I've been on this that we should wear the spring training jerseys in the regular season. So I'm excited for this red jersey, even though it's not the spring training one. I think the pinstripes are cool. I know a lot of people are hating on them, like the wavy navy ones or whatever. I think they're cool. The Lou, whatever. I wish the L was wrapped around the bat too, like the T is. I think they definitely could have done that, and it would have been cool. But I don't know. I like how they kept the bat and the birds. I do how they kept that classic design because
I feel
all
like
our
they had
jerseys,
to.
huh?
I said I feel like they kind of have to.
Oh, they could have went off the rails on that.
They
For
could
sure.
have, but why would you mess that up? Some
Exactly.
of these City Connect jerseys are kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. Some of them are really bad. And so that's why I was nervous. But I'm glad that they just, they did something creative, but they also kept a classic design that works. Like all our jerseys have those birds on the bat. And they kept it for this, which I think is really cool. It was definitely a safe play definitely a safe play. People are saying it was boring, but I'll take boring and safe over what some of the teams have had. So like this
That's
is a
fair
jersey
take.
I will legitimately probably buy this jersey. So um, yeah, pretty cool.
All right. And then more jersey talk. The Giants' new jerseys that they revealed, um, hideous. And they had Daniel Jones like doing most of the display work. It felt like, and it was just really sad. There was a picture of Daniel Jones that went viral for pretty much no reason. That picture of him smiling in those jerseys, and it was very sad. They're like, people haven't seen them. Maybe we'll flash it on the screen if you're on the YouTube, but it's like this red and blue that they do still have, but then there's like these gold pants, like Notre Dame looking gold pants. Actually, might even be like navy gold pants, and then just this really weird looking helmet and this thing on the front of the breastplate. I don't know. It was ugly. That's all I got to say about it. So the rich, I'm not sorry, the poor keep getting poorer. And Luke, your mic's muted.
Yeah, I am muted by the way. I was just saying that I don't think the Giants are really poverty. I mean they're poor in terms of like winning, but like money wise, I think they're definitely fine. Um, but it's like a really old school jersey that they have. And they have like the white stripe across with the number like in between the red and blue. Um,
It kind of reminds me of the Packers throwback, actually.
yeah, like that. The
The
gold
blue
and
and
the ones
yellow
that kind of look
with
like
the
Notre
one.
Dame colors.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It was like it's like an old school jersey, but like they tried to modernize it, and so it just looks really really bad. And it was
yeah.
funny because the thing that Antonio Brown has been saying for a while now on his Twitter is the hashtag CTESPN. Um, and they have like their own like I guess reporting service now, and they reported the Ezekiel Elliott signing to the Cowboys, and they also reported this. They're like the Giants' new not City Connect, their new jerseys, new alternate jerseys have just dropped. And then like 2 weeks later, it comes out that this is actually right. And so like all the comments, if you look, it was like trolling. I'm like, haha, no way. Like this is ridiculous. This is absurd. I can't believe CTESPN has any credit whatsoever. And then like 2 weeks later, it's revealed that that's actually what happened. So
Hell,
I don't want to
the
shout him out, but
CTE they had the Odell signing 2 months ago.
where do you go, Dolphins?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dolphins.
Yeah, that is funny. It's just
He
they've
definitely
had some.
is hearing stuff. He's still in the loop for sure.
Yeah, I
So
mean, there has to just be like some sources, like maybe even a player like that's just
yeah,
close to Antonio Brown. It's just texting them.
yeah,
That's it's
for
crazy.
sure.
But to get that jersey leak, like you have to have some sources. Um,
Yeah. Um. Okay, so the college football 25. The cover released last Thursday, and then the game trailer, which they did a really great job of not allowing any leaks of the trailer. And I seriously think that was maybe the best sports video game trailer I've ever seen in my entire life. That it was exactly how you do a sports video game trailer. And not only that, but it was just freaking sick. And it got so I am now 4 for 4 in terms of watching that trailer and getting goosebumps. I've gotten goosebumps all 4 times I've watched the trailer. I teared up the first 2 times I've watched that trailer. Pretty nostalgic for me. I still play NCAA, the old NCAA 14, so that we're going on 11 years now. Finally get a new game, and just the graphics and all the stuff that they've added in terms of like stadium atmosphere stuff, whether it was turnover celebrations, like the Oregon Duck, although that's in the game, driving out
yeah,
on the motorcycle, all the stuff, just like touching the Howard's Rock and stuff. Like it just looks so clean. All that stuff is actually in NCAA 14, but it just looks so good.
Or being able to call a booster at 1:30 in the morning to bail you out of a DUI. That's in the game.
Yeah. The new Snapchat feature for quarterbacks only. Yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah.
or hedge your future. Did you see that feature?
Oh yeah, where you can spend all your NIL on a big bet.
On 10-leg parlays. Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. Should be a sweet game. I'm gonna buy a next gen console pretty much just to set myself straight for the new game. So be an expensive summer for that game, but I'm so excited. So
are they going to have this on like just next gen consoles?
I think it's going to be on some of the newer Xbox One ones too. I don't know about PS4. And it honestly would not shock me if this is only a next gen game, just simply because it's actually almost time for like it's not shocking that people are going to start releasing games only on next gen, you know. It's been a couple of years now, which is interesting to think about, but it's true. So, and they're probably going to start making games that are only really compatible with next gen because they have the ability to do so, and you can do more on next gen. So why not make your games better? But, so yeah, that was really cool. I'm sure they're going to drop stuff as we get closer, you know, of what's all the features and stuff like that. Obviously, me and Luke were joking around with some of those, but yeah.
Yeah, it is. Right. I don't know if you saw, but one of the Clemson ones, like where they run down that hill to go into their stadium, and right before they do that, there was like this offensive lineman that looked like a bowling ball. Like he was fat. He was wide. And the actual offensive lineman like retweeted it. And he was like, okay, come on, I'm not that fat now.
Yeah, he goes, I think his name's Walker Parks. And he goes, all right, I'm calling my lawyer. This is ridiculous. I mean, it was really funny. He was so fat in the video.
Comically.
And I saw a picture of him. I think he's their starting center maybe, or he's an offensive lineman. He's not even fat. They dropped the ball on that one. So I don't know. Yeah. Also, in the video, when it's showing Wyoming trying to tackle, I think the Appalachian State player, there's two number 40 players on the field at the same time. That was a nice little bit there. So I just can't. I don't know. It's gonna, no matter what, it's gonna be sweet to just have that game back in rotation. But
yeah, it will be. You don't have to like play on your Xbox 360 anymore. That's like a million years old.
Yeah. Although I just got news that was being shipped back today, and he fixed it the boot up speed, he said, is ridiculous now. So we might be able to crank out another season before the new game comes out. So
that'd be sweet. All right, you want to get into tough scene of the week here? Tough scenes.
Yeah, let's go ahead. So my tough scene is I'm still battling it right now. I messed up my back during squat yesterday. Pretty bad. But it felt bad, but I think I only pulled a muscle, which I did the exact same thing last year. But it does suck. It was very uncomfortable and it hurts to walk. But I already made a chiropractor appointment for tomorrow, so it could be back.
I will say, if it's not a muscle issue, that the chiropractor will fix it. It would be awesome. But I've been trying to tell you, squats are overrated.
I do agree. I actually agree. In fact, I tell people all the time, there's actually like no reason at all that you should be squatting over 225 once you're out of high school, especially if you're not doing anything athletic at all.
Well, there is.
I just do it because I like it, and I actually enjoy it. So that's the only reason why I do it. And what was awful about it was at the very end of like the squat workout. So I was like, I was getting ready to start my next thing, and the last rep. It was all I had to just up and leave. I like tried to like say I was like trying to save myself, trying to like roll out and just like get on the bike, trying to maybe see if that would help and stuff like that. And I was like, fuck, I actually messed it up a little bit this time. So I'm gonna have to take a couple days off. So whatever.
Yeah,
But
no, that sucks. But yeah, like unless you're an athlete or a professional lifter, which could be considered athlete as well, there's no like reason to do, like it's actually kind of stupid to do a squat, like whatever. But yeah, that does suck. Chiropractors are nice though, unless you go there because you have scoliosis.
yeah. I think I might do acupuncture tomorrow. Do a little James Harrison.
Ooh, okay. All right, my tough scene is just so on Friday night at the Cardinal game, which was Tyler O'Neill's first game back, at Busch Stadium, and he hit a home run over the weekend. Just a little shout out to him there. But there was a birthday message. I'm forgetting the name of the girl now. I think her name was like Bethany or something like that. And it said, "Happy 10th birthday, Bethany." Which the Cardinals do that. Like throughout the game, they'll like pop up birthday messages from people, in the stands or watching on TV, on the Jumbotron, stuff like that. This one said, "Happy birthday, Bethany." And below it, the birthday message, it said, "Please fire Ali Marmol." Um, and they let it go onto the stadium. It was on one of the screens, like not the big Jumbotron, but one of the side ones that kind of go in between the seats. It was on one of those, and somebody took a screenshot of it and was like, "Well, somebody's getting fired. I don't know if it's going to be Marmol though," which is pretty funny.
Might be both of them by the end of the day. Who knows?
Well, not by the end of the day, but
yeah,
one of
end
them,
of the year. Yeah,
one of them for sure. I don't know how you let that get by, like unless you just think it's funny. If the guy like intentionally put it through, like that's great. That's awesome.
Maybe he was like, at the end of the day, maybe he's like a true fan too. That's like, all right, we need a complete system reset. We need a fully tank. And I'm part of the problem. So, I'm going to let this one go through. And if they fire me, then, that's a part of the rebuild. So,
yeah, he like took a sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly. So shout out to that person, actually.
Yeah, shout out. If he did it like unintentionally, then like that's just kind of baffling. Like, what are you even doing at your job? Like, if you're not reading that like before you put it out,
what are they paying you for?
Yeah, exactly. You deserve to get fired. But if you did it intentionally, like that's funny and shout out. Yeah, tough scenes of the week.
Okay. I had a couple notes. Jake's hot dog eating contest is June 1st. We might take some clips of some of the action when we were there. But yeah, I have a message from Jake. Asked him if he had anything to say before we hopped on here. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, it will be a couple weeks, so.
Yeah, we still have, it's not this Saturday, but it's the next, I believe. First off, he says sell the team. And then he says, in terms of the hot dog competition, put this on a quote card. Tell the people I'm ready. And then he also says, can you let the people know that I apologize for my Yankees prediction and that I actually love them? They're so damn good. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, he got the Mets and the Marlins, right? So Marlins are bad.
Yes, he did. They are, yeah.
Yeah, that was one that I kind of felt unconfident in. Like anytime you pick a playoff team to finish last place. But whenever Jake was like, yeah, me too. I'm not feeling it with the Marlins. I'm like, okay.
I remember asking questions about that. I was like, why are we just counting them off or writing them off so early?
And this is why.
Yeah, they were right. The haters were right. So.
Tell the people I'm ready. Yeah, he seems to be pretty confident. Hopefully we will do something. Like probably throughout the day. We'll be posting like updates on the Twitter, like it's underway, he's halfway through, blah blah blah. And then we'll post the final tally. And we may even, I don't know yet. It could be a lot more work than what we want to do, but we could do like a YouTube special, kind of like we did for my
With Taylor
punishment
Brown.
with Taylor Brown. Although, that I kind of thought was going to be longer, but then like by the time I edited it out, it was like under 5 minutes long. So like it could be another one of those situations where it's just a quick video, but could be some funny moments and, could be a nice thing for the YouTube. So, but yeah, he will do it. He's gonna attempt it. I guess place bets on it if you want. He's got to do 40 hot dogs with a bun. Condiments are optional in an 8-hour span. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're looking at a 12 p.m. start or a 1 p.m. start. So that gives us, that would go till either 8 or 9 p.m. So,
yeah,
going to be a great day no matter what. So,
yeah, and we'll also be eating hot dogs. We'll be
yeah.
busy gobblers that day.
Yeah. So,
as you would say. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. Cam, are you? I know we were both on the under. We both said he wasn't going to do it. Have you changed at all?
it's my pick is going to be a game time decision, I think.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest, I still don't think he's going to get it. Just doing the logistics of it, there's not a whole lot more on this earth that I want than Jake to get 40 hot dogs. There's not. But, if I'm really being logical about it, I don't think that he can do it, just that he can just walk onto the turf and go play. But I think we're thinking about doing a pool of money,
Yeah.
and whoever's the closest gets it, the pool, or if they land right on it. And then if Jake just devours all 40, he just gets the entire pool, which I think would be sick. So,
Yeah, that would be funny. That would be awesome. This is something my dad's actually very invested in this. Like he's been asking me like, when's he doing it? What's the requirements? What's the stipulations of it? Blah, blah, blah. And his prediction is that Jake has to get at least 20 hot dogs eaten in the first 2 hours. If he doesn't do half of it in the first 2 hours, he says there's no way. And I think that's a good take. I think he's going to have to go hard at the beginning, maybe
I
take
think
a little
that's a
bit of a
great
break
take.
in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll post updates for sure. For sure.
Yeah, he's going to take breaks. I mean, we and him went to Emo's the other day, last Tuesday, I think it was. And I was like, Jake, there might be a time where you go 2 hours without eating a hot dog, and you're going to make this challenge way harder on yourself because you had to take that break. But I mean, there's going to be time slots where he's not doing anything. He's just going to be,
you just get full.
yeah, he's just going to be a guy, a body. And that's about it. So, yeah, we're excited for that.
Yeah. All right. Say hello, kiss a goodbye to wrap up the show. Have a little bit of a quicker one this week. I guess this will be a Tuesday episode. I don't know if we've ever done one of those before.
Nope. Breaking all the barriers.
Yeah.
Shout out Cooper DeJean. All right. Say hello, kiss it goodbye. My say hello is summer. It's hot. It's back to being hot. It wasn't that bad today because of the overcast, but holy shit, over the weekend it was back.
It was
high
humid.
80s, super humid. Get in your car, you might as well. If you just showered right before, you might as well have not showered because you will just have instant shower sweats and instant swamp ass and instant just sweating in your car. So it's back. So hope you're happy, summer people.
Yeah. This is me and you have been on this for a while. Like once we get out of school, summer may become like the least favorite season.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is
gonna
weird.
be AIDS. Yeah. I agree.
Like it's just the only reason you like it as a kid is because like, well, you don't have school. You get to sleep in, you get to do whatever you want throughout the day, and once you're an adult, you don't get that time off anymore. And then it's just like, now I have to go to work and like it's hot as balls out. It's like, this just sucks. Like everything about this sucks.
There's
Um,
nothing good. Yeah.
yeah, we're kind of getting a taste of it. Now we're kind of turning. Like college is like that time where you start to turn a little bit. Like you're growing up, you realize, maybe this isn't as cool as we thought it was.
I hated summertime even in high school because football stuff during the summer, it's just awful.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just awful. It's so hot. So, um, and I've just been a hardcore sweater since like middle school. So summer's just been a bad time for me forever.
Yeah, I'm a hardcore sweater too, but um tomorrow for us, today for if you're listening to it when it comes out, it's going to be in the 90s and it's going to be humid tomorrow. So
Jeez.
get ready. Get ready for that. Um my
Um,
say hello is also related kind of to summer, kind of to the weather. The cicadas there's so many cicadas. There's so many of them. Like they're so loud. Like you don't even have to walk outside to hear them. Like if you're just like near a door, you can
I can
hear
hear
them
him right
from
now.
inside your house. Um, it's absolutely nuts. How loud they are and how abundant they are. Like you just see them, they're dead on the street like all the time. I remember the last week of school for finals week, walking around the campus, everywhere on the sidewalks is just littered with dead cicadas, and I was like, what's the deal with all this? Like this is disgusting. But apparently, as everyone, it's kind of coming to the mainstream now because everyone's realizing, like, man, these cicadas aren't loud. Um, it's actually a rare occurrence. So there's two types of cicadas that only come up like every whatever amount. 13, I think, is one of them, and like 15 is the other one. They like live underground and they only come up every whatever years, and both of them are coming up at the same time. Like those years they hit at the same time this year. So not only do we have our normal amount of cicadas that just come up every year, but we have like the massive invasion of them. So the double cicada, just say hello. It's going to be a long summer of them. We're going to get to know what a cicada
Yeah.
looks like, for sure. Probably
Yeah.
going to hate them. They're going to be maybe my new least favorite bug. Maybe.
I would say there is a couple respectable things about cicadas. The fact that they just take 13 to 15 to 17 years off and then they just come back. I respect that. That's pretty cool. And then I also respect how they just come up and they basically just die immediately. That's kind of respectable too, I feel like, I mean, you just kind of you come up and you're like, shit, it's hot out and this place does kind of suck. Summer does blow and then they just kind of keel over. So I kind of do respect that. Um, but yeah, they're so loud. I mean, driving down the highway, the fact that you can hear them like when you're going 60, 65 down the highway and it's louder than if you have the windows rolled down, it's louder than the wind entering your car. It's louder than the music that you're playing. It just trumps everything. And if you go outside at night, I mean, it's to the tune of the cicadas, not to the tune of the music. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is just wild. They are wild. They are very interesting insects. That's for sure. So
Yeah. I saw SNL did like a skit with them over the weekend, and they like brought them out and they were like interviewing them. It was two people just dressed up as cicadas, but one of them was like, "Yeah, my dream is I plan to go down scaring a child, scaring a child and then dying. That's my dream." That's pretty funny. I kind of hope they actually do think like that too. Like, I'm gonna die soon. I just want to scare a child.
yeah, no, and I respect that too. So
Yeah,
I know Hal Boone, our new dog. He's just been digging them out of the ground and eating them. So
yeah.
that's got to be a tough way to go.
My dog doesn't dig them. She just waits for him to die and then eats them, just the dead
Yeah,
carcass. Um,
yeah, Stella. Come on,
yeah,
Stella.
she's a disgusting dog. But um, say hello to
That
the
is
double
such a good
cicada.
point about the end of the school year too. Like when we started seeing them just like slowly, I was like, they're hashtag coming. They're coming. They're coming. Like that's all you could think about. Because there was even a lot at school at some places, like certain trees, you'd be like, oh shit. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like
even
kind of like
the Vag garage, I feel like
yeah. I
was
was
just
seeing like
like
kind of east of Hit Street. I
Mm-hmm.
guess like anywhere east of that, they were just filled, just loaded with them.
Yeah, ready to go. Can't blame them. All right. Okay, so kissing goodbye, Greg Olson from his top booth set. This is good. This is actually more of a tough scene, if you ask me. So, probably the best NFL announcer over the last couple of years, probably the last 2 years, has been demoted to the B team for Fox because Tom Brady will be taking that A-lister spot next year. Um, all you can say about it is that it sucks because he is really, really, really good at his job, and we won't be able to see as many games with him on. Now, if you're like us and you're watching Red Zone or whatever, you'll still hear him because he'll be doing those games. As like I said, as the B team guy, but um, it's crazy the pull that Tom Brady has to just boot him out like that, especially after some of his like recent, you know, big games that Greg Olson has done, and people are like, "Wow, he is really, really good and on it." And kind of like how people used to feel when Tony Romo came onto the scene when he first got on and was like actually really, really good at his job, and like you could tell that he really, really prepared for his games
Before he got lazy with it.
before he got extremely lazy with it, before CBS had to intervene with him. I don't know. I almost just hope that Greg goes to a different network and just, I don't know, becomes a lead guy somewhere else. But
Yep, that's what I'm
I don't
hoping
know if
for
that's going
too.
to
Like,
happen.
I don't know if CBS would let go of Tony Romo just because they paid him so much money to do it, but I don't know. Chris Collinsworth, he's got to be retiring soon. He's been doing it forever. It feels like. Maybe not as soon as I'm thinking though. He's still got years in front of him.
Yeah.
Um,
I was thinking maybe, you know, ask Kirk if he how much. I don't know how long Kirk Herbstreit is going to be doing Amazon, but not that I don't like Amazon or Kirk doing the Amazon games. He's just such it just feels weird sometimes. Like he does a good job, but he's such a college football guy that it's almost weird when he does the Amazon games. I think Al Michaels and Greg, I feel like eventually they could find a good mesh point between those two because they're both just that good. Um, I don't know.
yeah, that's for sure. Just another thing I'm thinking about while we're on announcer talk. So Joe Buck obviously went to ESPN from Fox a couple years ago, and he always called the World Series on Fox. And then he also called like the football games too. But now he's not calling any baseball. He's just doing Monday Night Football. That's it. Like, but ESPN has a thing every Sunday. They have Sunday Night Baseball, like prime time,
Bring
standalone
Joe
game.
back.
Huh?
Bring Joe back.
That's what I'm saying. That crew has been that like it's been through the ringer. Like every year, it seems like there's a new crew. I think finally, like Eduardo Perez is like the first guy to like stay on it for like multiple years now, the last couple of years, and he's a good, he's all right, but like that crew gets so much hate for how badly they do these broadcasts. Just bring back Joe. Like you have him right there. Just tell him he wants to do it. If you give him the opportunity to do it, I guarantee he will take it. At least up until like football season starts in September. Um, but yeah, he will take it just because I think he misses calling baseball a little bit, and then it gives him something to do during the summer, and it would be awesome just to have that voice back. Um,
Yeah,
so
I agree. I don't know how much he'd want to do it or not. I think I do agree with you that he would want to do some games. But I actually think he does. I think he said that he does enjoy summer times with his family and kids in St. Louis. So, which I could see why he's super busy during the NFL season. But man, I can't
yeah.
wait till a Joe Buck and Troy Aikman game during the NFL season. So.
Oh man. Maybe they'll do it for like the Battlehawks. Maybe the ESPN, since they do a lot of the UFL games, maybe they'll just be like, "Hey Joe, you want to just drive up to the dome because he lives in St. Louis? You just want to drive up to the dome and do a championship game?
That'd be pretty
Kind of fun.
sick.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that would be sick. That could get some views too. Like if
Oh,
Joe Buck's
massive.
doing like a UFL broadcast for the championship, I think people would tune in just for that, just to hear his voice
Yeah.
and
It
watch some
like
football.
helps the fan get ready. It's like their preseason. Helps the fan get ready for the regular season. And that's all we can ask for as
Yeah,
men, and women.
exactly.
So
And then other Joe Buck talk. He is doing a co-broadcast with Chip Carey on Friday, so that'll be fun. He is doing baseball. He's doing a baseball game.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
I would like to tune into that.
yeah. I know
So
that'll be
yeah,
fun. Chip Carey did
that's sweet.
he did a joint broadcast on Sunday. They had like the Roku game, or it was the first ever game on the Roku channel for free. And so they didn't like get a whole crew. They just said, "Hey, we're gonna take the play-by-play guy from the Cardinals, Chip Carey, and then the color guy from the Red Sox, Will Middlebrooks, and just put them together in the same booth." And it was a really interesting broadcast to listen to. Because like they both had to be neutral, but they also kind of had their own ties. Um, so Chip Carey's been very versatile the last
Yeah,
couple
that's
weeks.
interesting that they could. I mean, obviously anybody can just jump in and do a game, but like you have to mesh with those people pretty quickly. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, whenever you have Jim Edmonds in the booth, I think it's pretty easy to mesh with
yeah,
almost
that gives you
anyone else.
some good reps in terms of how to just mesh with.
Yeah. Yeah. Like going from Jim Edmonds to literally anyone else, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, they mesh fine. And then my kiss it goodbye is, I guess, Stan Kroenke, kind of, because he had a really bad weekend. So on Friday night, his beloved Avalanche got eliminated by the Stars in double overtime. Shout out to the Stars. Obviously, a couple years ago, 5 years ago to be exact, the Blues eliminated them in double overtime in the second round. So now I don't know. Maybe this is their Stanley Cup DVD right here. You know,
Yeah,
double overtime in the second round.
they can do it. They have the team to.
Oh yeah, they're good. I think they second best team in the league, maybe. Um, and then on Sunday, obviously the Nuggets got eliminated. And then also on Sunday, the Battlehawks, St. Louis Battlehawks, clinched a playoff spot. So I don't think he cares about any of it. I think he's, probably on one of his yachts, just, getting whatever he wants, doing just fine. But just to know that, both of his teams got eliminated in the same weekend in the city he left clinched. I mean, it has to sting a little bit, just a little bit, even if it's just a little tiny sting on the back of his leg. I'm glad because he
Yeah,
deserves it. He deserves it, every bit of it. So
unless he actually was the donor that gave us like $62 million, then a lot of the sting goes a little bit away.
I still hope he gets stung. I still hope it stings a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, I want the NFL back here in St. Louis. So yeah, I agree.
All right. I think that's going to wrap up our show here, episode 95. I think that means we're going to have our number 100 over the summer, hopefully.
Yeah,
That could be cool. We'll have to maybe plan a huge episode for that. I don't know. We'll
we'll
have
look
to
into
talk
it.
about it. Yeah, but that'll be fun. It will be coming up. So, you got anything before we go here, Cam?
No, sir. 2 weeks in a row, we finally getting a little rhythm going for some
Yeah, yeah.
shows.
Hopefully we can keep that up. Finally, back to back weeks. Yeah. So hopefully we will see you next week. For Memorial Day weekend. Have a great week.